Hello, my name is Sigrid Anita Haugen and I'm a composer for visual media, doing a PhD at the TU Dublin Music Conservatory. My research deals with how music is composed for a 360 medium, such as virtual reality, using various music composition techniques addressing the problem, what role can music for visual media have today? I'll be working on creating immersive adaptive music for virtual reality. And the production titles are A World Underwater, Wolf and the Lamb, and Color of Music. Today, we're fortunate enough to have high-end technology for visual platforms such as virtual reality, showing immersive content in 360 degrees with haptic technology. However, from the music perspective, having access to advanced audio technology such as spatial audio with additional head tracking technology used in VR, music is still being left behind, being played in stereo or binaural, which is a very limited technology that has existed since the mid-1950s. On the bright side, it gives depth, but on the downside, is not adaptive or immersive in any way. The reason for music always being left behind is that music follows a linear form, going from a set start to an end. An example is from a pop tune where you have a verse, a chorus, and another verse, while other audio disciplines such as Foley or sound design can come in and out of random cues. Therefore, my focus is to create non-linear music content for VR that can be spatial and adapt depending on the story and its interactions while walking around in the play space. So as a traditional composer, I write down my sketches into the music notation software Sibelius. My style is kind of commercial music, very melodic music, and what I do when I'm happy with my sketches is that I give that to musicians and record it, and once we're happy with the recordings, we implement the stems into Logic, or it could be any other DAW software such as Pro Tools or Reaper, but in my case I chose Logic. And I use, funny enough, a binaural plugin to create my musicscape, spatializing the sounds around and playing around with my melodic themes, making sure that all the music that I've created work together. Then I implement my music into Unity, which is a game engine and not really a tool for a composer, although I found it quite interesting because I treat it as a music canvas, but in 3D. Working with teams, putting in animations and so on, I would put my music or assign my music to these animations. So while they move around this 3D space, you'll hear music run around you, almost like if they're a Foley. The problem that might arise is that it can be too much information for the player, but if it's correctly composed, then it's going to be interesting and also even intriguing. My first project is called Color of Music, which I'm still working on. This was presented at the VR Nordic Forum in Hamar in Norway in October 2019 and became one of the international finalists at the SXSW VR Festival in the following spring in 2020. As a composer, we had a lot of fun with this because we decided to play around with the idea of synesthesia. So the concept where you're accessing two senses instead of one. So for some people, when they listen to music, they can actually see colors. And that's actually quite interesting because if you're not a music expert, but you do want to create music, you can actually use colors to teach and create music. It's a different way of approaching it. Some of the key features are teaching the spectator to compose music using colors, a purpose-inspired gameplay with a humanitarian ethos, meaning that there is a narrative, there's a story to it. So you presented this tale where the landscape is all dead, it's all industrialized, all life has been sucked out, and your task is to color and give life back to the world. It's simple and intuitive interaction because you're walking around and you're coloring the world. It addresses an important ethical issue. What would our world turn into if all our nature was cut down and industrialized? A little while back, I was presenting the same topic to the VR days at the Immersive Funding Market, And here's a little clip where I explain more about Colour of Music, as well as a little example of the music. Colour of Music is all about restoring a lifeless world using colours and music. The colours used symbolize emotions and culture, and with each colour comes an assigned musical theme that enhances the symbolic colour. An example is yellow, which represents joy, red representing strength, blue representing hope. With more colours, the bigger the symphony of music becomes, and your surroundings return to life. Wolf and the Lamb, Ulven og Lammet, is the second VR project that I will be working on. The experience is inspired by Norwegian folk tales and art. However, it is an international-driven production, and despite the start date of the project happening in November 2019, it was nominated as one of the top 3 finalists at the Biennale VR Cinema in February 2020. I will show another example from the conference where you will hear a fragment of the music in the background. So Wolf and the Lamb gives the player the chance to intervene with the story and its outcomes. It also teaches an important lesson: how does one react to injustice when confronted by it? The music's role in this is to create an emotional echo of what each character feels before and after a decision has been made, allowing the music to operate on a meta-plan basis. I've actually put the music into categories: melodic themes, emotional echo, gesture, and landscape. So all these layers will happen at the same time. And with the Wolf and the Lamb, you have 3 characters. You have the wolf, the lamb, and the character, the player. So there will be melodic themes to each of these characters, meaning that also the player has a designated theme. All these melodic themes will happen at the same time. It is to create a certain character or a purpose. You usually hear a villain and a hero in films or games, and you will always hear music assigned to that. The music for the player, however, is neutral but will develop depending on the player's interaction. The emotional echo, that's little fragments of music that happens before and after a decision has been made. So if you're agitating the lamb or the wolf, you'll hear a musical response to that. Or if you interact and you try to help the lamb, then you'll hear a more pleasant echo, a happier lamb. The gestures, those are little things such as when a character is jumping or running. So this is taken from the Mickey Mousing example of where the music is mimicking or in sync with the visuals. So if the lamb is running away, the music accelerates. When the lamb jumps, then you might hear a musical scale ascending and then descending. The landscape, that's a very neutral background, creating the atmospheric mood. So in this case, it will be folk instruments kind of operating in a drone sort of way, giving space to all these other layers of music happening at the same time. So that's the end of it. And if you're interested or intrigued by this, you can contact me here. Thank you.